what we're doing is we are bringing our attention down into our chest. It's slightly right of center is the spiritual heart. That is your portal to the field. Now, the field is all around you. Okay, but within the physical body, we have, so you are made of these tiny little units of light. And in the center of each one of those is the field. That's how the field, which is that light, is manifesting matter. So your physical body is made of those tiny units of vibrating energy. Your subatomic particles are made out of that. Those subatomic particles are making up a proton, which makes up atoms. And so they're all made of these units coming together, forming these higher order structures. So proton is made of these subatomic units, and the atom is made out of that. And then the molecules, and then your cells have this dynamic going on as well. And then the tissues, and then the entire physical body has this field around it. Center point within the physical body, or of your soul, the seat of your soul, the soul being this. Okay, so this light in the center manifesting as you. Is your soul. This is the Egyptian sun symbol. So they knew this thousands of years ago. Okay, so this point is that point of singularity. That is where the field, the ocean of energy that we exist in, is manifesting you. Okay, so this is drawn on our two-dimensional surface, so it just looks flat, but that is what it is a symbol of. Okay, it's a symbol of this. So it would be like looking down from here onto this. Okay, so we're made up of these tiny little units, but then we have one that's around the entire physical body. So when you bring your attention down into your heart, and then you sense and feel the space around you, you are expanding into this field. Okay, so you're basically going into a different order of reality, but it's all right here. So that's what you're doing. When we drop our awareness down into the spiritual heart, that's where you're going. Okay. Now, this is also the intelligence of the universe. So as you start letting it shine through you, you are aligning with those qualities. You're being conscious of it. It's a field of energy, but energy is information. So it is the intelligence of the universe. By being conscious of it and allowing it to express through you, you are aligning with it. So you will then begin to experience these qualities. The more you can relax the physical body, the more you can let go, the more you will feel it. It feels like love. It feels like wholeness. It feels like bliss. Okay, that is who we are. We are that. When we're not paying attention to it, when we don't know it's there, when we don't know its qualities, we don't express them. We just operate through our conditioning, what we were taught to believe in this reality. Some of us have good habits, some of us not so good habits, habits of thought, habits of expression. But the more we're in alignment with it, the more we dip into this every single day and choose to align to it, the more it will express through us, the more it will educate us, because it is information. This is the Christ consciousness. So the masters in the book knew this. They understood this principle. They understood this universal mind that they were all part of, and that it's a field of energy. And they were constantly aware of it. If you're constantly aware of it, you will be in the present moment. Right? So if we wake up in a dream, we call that lucid dreaming. When you wake up in a dream, but your body is still asleep, but you're in a dream, you're focused into a dream, and you wake up and you know that you're awake in the dream. You're like, I'm in a dream and I'm awake. Some of you, if you do that, Are there any avid lucid dreamers here? I can't see you guys. Was anybody raising their hand?
Yeah, I just think I had my first elusive dream this week, and I was like, oh, this is really helping me understand what Kat's talking about.
Oh, nice.
All of this being a dream because that was so real. And I was thinking, wow, I mean, just all these little baby steps. You just have to have it over and over again. But I had a question in the masters just on what you were talking about, um, from the universal mind perspective. They use the term universal mind
Mm-hmm.
substance. And there's a quote in there that where they're talking about, and they say, then by holding them in your pure spiritual perfect state, the vibrations are lowered and the things we wish to create come forth in perfect form. So I think they're talking about manifesting.
Yes, exactly.
And and so I keep going back to this frequency vibration thing because they use like they bring it to this as if physical is the I guess the lower vibration and in the pure awareness, it's a higher frequency.
Yeah.
So it's the play of between of taking this energy and changing its vibration and manifest.
Good question. So, what universal mind substance, right? Like I drew it as separate from the body because I'm just trying to show that when you bring your attention here, it's your portal to it, but it's everywhere. Okay. And it's even here. Okay. So, it's a field of energy. So, it's unmanifest, pure potential. Any idea we think of, if we have a vision for ourselves or anything that's been created was an idea that existed in the field first, and then it was manifested. So when it's in the field, it's unmanifest. It's just an idea, it's not manifested. Okay. It's just pure potential energy. When it, when you, so when you think of an idea for yourself, what you're doing is you're pulling that idea out of this infinite sea of potential. Okay. So when an idea occurs to you, say you want a ring, okay? So you think of the ring. So you think of the ring, and what are you doing? You're pulling an idea out of the field. And the more you think about it, the more you're crystallizing the idea out of the field of energy. When it was unmanifest, when you weren't thinking about it, it's just absorbed back into the field. There's no idea that is there. It's just there's just nothingness, right? But nothingness is a field of energy. Then we're like, okay, well, I desire a ring. So then you start thinking about the ring you want. What are you doing? You're taking that unmanifest sea of energy and you're taking some part of it out to create this idea in your mind of a ring. Is that making sense?
Yes.
So that's you creating the seed of this ring in your mind, right? So it was in the universal mind substance first. You're pulling it out. You're pulling this idea. You're forming it in your awareness. And then like you really are solidifying it. You're like seeing all angles. Like when I went to the Joe Dispenza retreat, he had us do this where he would have you create an object and he wanted you to see like every single angle of the object. So try it, right? So that's what's happening. That makes sense, David?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
uh, Dr. Cat,
Mhm.
that he mentioned, David mentioned the um, lowering of the vibration, and in the front of the book that I ended up getting, uh, it it has the example of the ice crystals, and
Yeah.
it's the opposite to what I was thinking. It was so enlightening, is that when we manifest, it lower the vibration is lower. Of course, that's density. So maybe you could comment on it better than I'm
Okay.
mumbling.
Yeah. So when it's purely just pure potential energy, it's unmanifest. That is all of that energy, that all of that light together is just right. It's like the light of the sun. It's dazzling white light. There's nothing manifest there. You're taking a portion of that energy and making it lower in vibration by you creating forming the ring out of it, or the ice crystal out of it. You are lowering its vibration, because as pure potential energy is unmanifest, it's the highest vibration. That's why you don't see anything.
Thank you. That was confusing to me too, because I'm thinking raise vibration instead of lower vibration. So I understand what you're saying now.
Yeah. So we are actually low vibration. Anything material is going to be lower vibration than who we are as pure energy. So pure energy is the highest vibration. Everything else is going to be a step down from it. So the universal mind substance is the highest frequency.
Okay.
Anything else will be a step down from it in vibration. And physical is going to be lower, right? So a rock is going to be down here. We are less physical than a rock, so we're higher vibration. A butterfly is going to be a little bit higher vibration than us, depending on what part of us you're talking about, right? I mean, we have parts of us within us, like, that are subatomic, which are very high frequency. Okay. But if you think of like, so us compared to a rock is vibrating very, very low. It's going to be very low frequency, right? It's more solid than we are. But we are, as the physical, when I say we as the physical body is stepped down in vibration from this really high vibration. Okay. But this vibration, this light, is within every single part of our physical body. When we don't know it, we pinch ourselves off to it. When we start to know it, which is what I'm going to have you do, right? And you've been doing, some of you, you can allow it to shine through. That's what's making you more highly energetic. The more you allow that light to shine through, the more you know yourself as the light. That's the key. The more you know yourself as the light, the more energetic your physical body is going to be. You're going to shine brighter. People will think you're glowing. So a lot of the people that I know, transcendental meditators that I know, that are like in their 70s and 80s, they glow. They really glow. Pretty much everyone I've seen that has a daily practice, they glow. But they might not necessarily understand that light is there, but they glow. Because if you've been meditating that long, you are cohering with the field. And the field is that high vibration, so you will start to glow.
It might be useful to understand that regardless if we start at the highest level of vibration with light, no matter how many steps down from that vibration, each step below contains all the properties of that from which it emanated from.
Yeah.
So we contain all the properties of that pure light.
Shift is understanding yourself. The shift is, because we're saying we, and we're taking we to be this. But we want to learn that we is this. Right? That's the shift in understanding. I'm not this. I'm this. Expressing as this. Right? So then what happens there, back to what Dia's question earlier, when we know ourselves as this, then we come in, okay, how do I want this physical body to feel? I'm going to shine more of my light through it. Right? How do I want my emotions to feel? I'm going to create those emotions. Otherwise, I'm just letting my conditioning determine how I respond to life and how I feel in my body. Right? When we didn't know we were this, Our conditioning determines how we feel. But when we know we're this, then we are going to shine into this, and we are going to change the qualities. That's the shift.
Yeah.
That was great.
Right? So this is the shift. This is the massive shift that we're all undergoing. That's the divine science of our being, is to know we are God. The masters, what they were clearly aware of was this energy. They knew that they existed in this field, and they were one with this field. They could feel these laws of creation, the dynamics that are creating the material world inside of them. I used to wonder when I first started listening to this or understanding this, I was like, how did they know? How did they know? How do they know? And it was through the spiritual heart meditations that I started to understand. It's because the more you bring your attention inward, the more you actually get to experience these principles for yourself. The more you'll start to experience that energy creating you. So now for me, that energy, it's always like this. It's a bubble. Like I just am always aware of it. I feel energy in my brain. I feel energy going horizontally through my body. I also feel it coming down through the crown and going up through my root. I feel lines of energy like flowing throughout my arms and legs, up from the earth, up from the bottom of my feet. I didn't know we had chakras at the bottom of the feet. We have chakras at the bottom of the feet. Like I started feeling all these dynamics as I brought my attention in. So what is happening is you are allowing your conscious mind to be aware of what's already happening. It's already happening. But what happens is we don't know it, so we don't experience it. Right? We don't know this is happening. No one told us. So we're just oblivious to it until something happens in your life where you start to learn, wow, this is a possibility that's going on in me and I'm just not aware of it. So now I'm just going to start paying attention and wow, okay, I do feel lighter when I go into my heart. I do feel more expansive. And over time, you'll start to feel a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more. We all have these inner senses that we're not using. And so you guys might develop sight. Like some of you guys see things. I don't see things. I feel things and I know things, but I don't see things. So I have seen colors. What I do see is the flickering of the light in the physical reality, because I don't want to get too much into this, but what's really happening is what we see in front of us is just like these frames of reality appearing billions of times per second, and that's what creates our experience. It's happening so fast it's just literally, like the analogy is like a film strip. All the frames of the film exist simultaneously, and the projector light shines through those frames, and that's what creates the illusion of motion in the physical on the screen when you watch a movie. Well, that's essentially what's happening here too. There's these frames of light, or the physical reality that you're experiencing right now is like that, but it's happening so fast. We're shifting through those literally billions of times per second, and that's why it seems so continuous. Okay, so in the beginning of the book, it said the masters clearly accept that Buddha represents the way to enlightenment, but clearly set forth that Christ is enlightenment. So everything I've been talking about is Christ is us understanding that this energy is the source of us, and it's what we exist in. The physical body is this energy in action. So all the laws and the principles that are creating this physical body, it's us knowing all of this. It's us knowing that we are this, and we exist in a universal mind. We're one with that mind. We are a visualized portion of that mind, creating expressing as the physical body into the creation. That is what Christ consciousness is. You could say Christ consciousness is enlightenment. It's a true, profound understanding solid understanding of who you are as this. So you're all entering Christ consciousness. And the more you keep your awareness on the heart, at least for me, started feeling it. I realized, wow, if I stay tuned to this, I'm knowing things that I didn't learn in a book. I feel it changing how I feel and therefore how I express, right? Because our emotion, the way we feel, our vibration determines how we think, it determines how we perceive, and it determines how we act in the universe. So the more I noticed how I kept my awareness on it, it would start to grow. So I'm getting feedback. So I'm feeling the energy. It's a feedback, feed forward dynamic, right? So the double torus dynamic is this feedback, feed forward dynamic. So I started noticing, feeling this energy, and I could tell it was changing me. And I was learning things, and I didn't read it in the book. This is infinite energy. It's the mind of the universe. It's an intelligence, and we are it. And what we're doing is shifting our attention back to it, expanding our awareness to realize we're not just this, we're this. That's Christ consciousness. So now these masters were telepathic. Why? How? Well, because when you connect to the field, that energy is information. And your intention alone will connect you to things. So if you want information from something or someone, the more connected you are to the field, because we're all part of this field, the more telepathic you're going to become. Now, the thing that's going to connect you most to the field, one is your awareness of it, that it exists, and two, the more love you can feel. Because what is love? Love is actually the field. It's who you really are. And so I want you to notice, and we'll do this today in meditation, but I want you to notice that as you allow yourself to experience love, and now some of you that might be challenging, perhaps felt like you don't really know what love feels like. What I'll have you notice in the meditation is that love is just the release of resistance. When you release resistance, you will automatically feel it. You don't need to create it. It's who you are. You just need to become aware of it and release anything that's keeping you from it. So Emil was one of the masters here in the story, and he could stop animals from fighting. He made trees and flowers a nod to him. He said, "This is not my mortal self, that the self you see, that is able to do these things. It is the truer, deeper self." So when you start to connect here and you become one with the field, you really start to connect with everything that exists, like the trees, the birds, right? They're more connected than we are. And so they will also recognize that. So they'll be more interactive with you. You feel the trees breathe. This is what I was feeling. I didn't understand it, but that's what I was feeling. He said, "I can do nothing. It is only when I rid of the outer self entirely and let the I am speak and work and let the great love of God come forth that I can do these things." It's us surrendering our ego, surrendering any resistance we have to this understanding. Just choosing. It's about alignment. I'm choosing to align to this, to the truth of who I am. Okay. Baird Spalding commented, he said, he could not understand all these teachings nor accept them fully at the time, and it took years of meditation to bring me to the realization of the deep spiritual meaning of these people's lives. This is also what I was trying to explain that happened to me, right? So I had the knowledge, but I didn't quite really get it until I was able to experience it, bring my attention in. So he said deep meditation. And then you start to know these things. So as you're connecting, this mind, this information will educate you. You'll have realizations. They know the power of love to protect them, and they cultivate it until all nature is in love with them and befriends them. So just the power of love is the field. It's the dynamics of the field. So just keep bringing your attention to your heart and expanding out and sensing and feeling. When you're sensing and feeling, you're in the present moment. Okay. Jesus was showing all of us what that we are Christ. Okay. Because one has contacted a thought in the universal, it does not follow that it is his particular possession. This is really important, because when we think we have ideas, and you'll see this, right? So there'll be certain times within our history where there were numerous people that were coming to the same realizations, or even like a technological development. I was in the field of mass spectrometry, and there was this time where there were basically two people on different, somebody in Japan and somebody in, I don't know if he was American or British, but anyway, they both like discovered something simultaneously. Well, that was the time for this information to manifest. And then there was a little bit of controversy about like who got it first, right? Well, that's the old paradigm of like competition, right? We're entering a new paradigm where we're understanding all information comes from this field. So whether someone over here comes up with it or someone over here comes up with it, it's not our information, it's God's information. Any idea you come up with is not your own, it's God's. But there'll be less of this covetousness, like, I came up with this, you can't have it. You can't trademark that, patent it, right? When we start coming into resonance and coming into alignment with this intelligence, we will see in terms of the big picture. Great, you found it too. So let's work together, right? For everyone. And this is what we're seeing with our sciences, right? Nassim has this like, he's already got this stuff worked out. Nobody needs to work on it anymore. Let's stop all the funding of this research that everyone's doing, spending billions and billions of dollars on research that when he's already got it. Like, now let's take what he's got and like, let's use that money to create technology that's based on this information, right? But we're still of the mindset, we're still transitioning, where it's like, no, this is my idea over here. And you'll see, like Nassim, he wants to share it open source. So he's operating from this intelligence, this whole like a holistic view of the universe. So he's not trying to hold the information for himself. And you will see, anytime you do this, you will not thrive, because it's against one of the principles, the laws of the universe. And that is, what we receive, we should share. And what we give out, we get back, right? So if I'm putting out covetousness, then I'm not going to get. I'm holding myself back. I'm limiting my experience, and I'm going to be tied to a world where people are going to be limited. But when we start sharing information, we're all going to come together. It doesn't mean we're not going to have privacy, or we're not going to have our own individuated experience, but it's that we will think more holistically, and that is going to expand our experience. It's going to make our experience better. So when he contacts God's ideas, he must give them out in order to receive the benefit from them. He must allow all to do the same, that they may grow and develop as he is growing. One has to be willing to let God come forth. All are created equal. There is nothing mysterious about Jesus' work. The mystery is only in man's moral concept of them. So these mysteries become not so mysterious. That night, my hand went through a wall, and I was like, well, no one saw that happen, right? But I couldn't believe William Brown, the biophysicist, and I think William's a physicist too, at the International Space Federation. He was able to explain to me how that could have happened, right? So when we bring our level of awareness down to the field, we are below where the forces manifest. So gravity and electromagnetism that creates these fields. So when we touch an object, we're not touching any particles, we're touching a field of energy. But anyway, when you bring your level of awareness down to the field, the Planck scale, that's why I felt weightless. And that's why my hand was able to go through a wall. We can talk more about it later, but just want to explain some of these things.